Salem's Lot. Now, I want to say this first and foremost. This movie dropped the ball on two things. Actually, three when I think about it. One, Barlow. I feel like the aesthetics and the makeup effects of Barlow itself did not look as creepy as he did in a 1979 miniseries. That Barlow scared the shit out of me. Two, Stryker. Stryker, like Barlow's assistant, is much better in the miniseries because he's just fucking hamming it up in the miniseries. And this one, he's just kind of playing it straight. But in the miniseries, Stryker was actually three dimensional and it had humor and he had dark humor to him. Like every time he opened his mouth, especially, come on, shaman, all right, priest, put it down, put it. That shit was hilarious. And three, Ben and Susan's relationship. I feel this one kind of rushes their relationship, unlike the miniseries where there's time to develop that relationship. So when that ending hits in the miniseries, it's a much more emotional, devastating for the audience. Unlike here, it's not as devastating. It's not. But the one thing that this movie does do better than the miniseries is that it does streamline the whole entire narrative. Where this, unlike the miniseries, where it's just jumbled with a whole bunch of subplots that really don't kind of go anywhere and just vanish in like episode 2 or 3. This one actually just streamlines Barlow and Stryker slowly taking over Jerusalem's Lot, and Ben Mears and Susan and the little kid are caught up in the midst of it, and they're trying to figure out how they can survive, escape it, and all this other stuff. And then it just plays out like a whole entire your typical vampire movie. And watching The Strain, like watching the first 4 episodes of The Strain, and then watching Salem's Lot, like The Strain picked up a whole lot from, like, ripped off Salem's Lot beat for beat. The only difference is that they did it in the New York City and metropolitan area instead of a small town like Jerusalem's Lot. And for me, I don't like the Barlow makeup. Like he doesn't look creepy enough. I will say that the one clever thing they did do was the coffins and the trunk in the drive-in. That to me was so fucking clever. I was like, oh, that's awesome. That was fucking awesome. I enjoyed that bit. I do think this is actually worthy of your time. It's actually really entertaining. It's fun. This definitely really wanted to be a franchise. You can tell by the end. And it ends on a great song with Sundown. So, I mean, you can't complain because it was entertaining, didn't bore you, it kept you invested. Although the relationship between Ben and Susan is not fully developed, and what happens between them doesn't hit as hard as it did in the miniseries. I just think the miniseries is written a little bit better, but because it had 4 hours to tell its story, it was able to develop those characters much more better. Unlike where this one had like an hour and 50 minutes to get everything going. But yeah, it's entertaining enough. Highly recommend it. Go check it out on Max right now.